Hey everybody, this is going to be a playthrough of the CWW-04-1 mission from the Cold War Warrior campaign for the Flaming Cliffs Su-25. Looking at the mission briefing, we got an afternoon mission in the winter, so there's snow on the ground, gives you pretty good contrast with any ground units, and there's just high clouds that aren't really a factor in this mission here. So looking at the loadout, we got some rockets, some laser-guided missiles, a couple different kinds, and some bombs. Looking at the allies, we got an A-50, essentially an AWACS. We got some MiG-23s and some Su-17s. The objective is to do some on-call CAS, so close air support. So essentially, we'll be flying between a couple of different waypoints, waiting for some instructions on what to attack. I'll give you some spoilers here, so you might want to skip ahead about 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this, but they're going to give you directions from waypoint 3, they're going to refer to it as, and it's actually waypoint 2. On your nav system. So it's waypoint 3 here on this map and on this flight plan. But when you dial it up in your nav system, it's going to be the second dot on the bottom row, so waypoint 2. That'll be the reference point for the instructions they're going to give you. So looking at our package, we're going to be called Grok 2, although I don't think that really plays in at all. Looking at the threats, there's Hawk radar-guided SAMs, and we got some Roland radar-guided SAMs and some Gepard AAA, as well as some F4s flying around, but there will be friendly flights dealing with those. So over on the left, we can see the route. So we're just flying north to waypoint 3 here, which will be 2 in your nav system, and then just going back and forth between 3 and 4 here on the map, and that'll be 2 and 3 in your nav system until you get some instructions on what to do from there. Looking at the mission planner, here's our flight here, starting down in Sochi. So we fly north up to, it's hard to see on this map, we'll switch the altitude or view. So we got waypoints 2 and 3. So this is how it'll look in your nav system. On the flight plan, these were 3 and 4. So you fly up to waypoint 2, and if you don't get instructions by that point, just head over onto waypoint 3. If you still haven't got instructions, just keep bouncing back and forth between these two. You can either use your nav system to bounce back and forth, or you can look at the landmarks on the ground near these places. So waypoint 2 is kind of in this field. You got kind of this circle of forest and this little village out in the middle of it. So just to the west of that is waypoint 2, and then waypoint 3 is kind of where this little piece of the lake kind of protrudes inland. So you can look for that, just fly roughly in that area. It's not important to be dead on those until you get the instructions. So again, some spoilers. You might want to skip the rest of the briefing if you don't want to hear this. But when you get your instructions, they'll say waypoint 3, and again, it's from waypoint 2. And there's going to be 2 different artillery groups that they're going to task you to. It's going to be a 50% chance, so you'll only get tasked for one of them, but there's 2 different possibilities of what the tasking will be. So the first one's up here, and that's going to be, it's this group if you get tasking for, I think it's 21 degrees at 25 kilometers, I think it is. So yeah, 21 degrees, and I got mine in miles right now, but I think they'll call out 25 kilometers. So if you get 21 degrees at 25 kilometers, it's this group here. And the other group is right here. This one will be 38 degrees at 20 kilometers. So we measure that out. Yeah, 38 degrees magnetic and about 20 kilometers there. So depending which taxing you get, it'll be one of those 2. If you want to follow the spirit of the mission, you really should use those bearings and ranges to find it. So what you'll do is fly to waypoint 2, and then either fly south of waypoint 2 and get waypoint 2 lined up with the bearing that they've given you, or just fly directly to waypoint 2 and then correct a hard turn to get on the right bearing. Either way works. It'll get you in the ballpark, and then you'll just have to look around and spot these guys visually. You really should do it that way, but if you're having trouble with that, just fly back to waypoint 2, look northeast, spot this first little forest and this little kind of channel through the forest here, or this little gap in the forest. If you're at waypoint 2 and you're looking at that, you fly straight up through there. That's going to line you up. Skip over the second and the third forest and find this long little village right here. So that's going to point you almost directly at that. And then once you found that, if you got that 21 degree instruction, just look a little bit northwest of that village. It kind of points you right at it. If you got the 38 degree instruction, just look southeast, almost points you directly at that group too. So that's kind of the cheater way to do this, assuming that you already knew what the groups were and where they are and all that. So if you're having trouble, you can find this village and find the groups that way. You're going to get some assistance. You can direct your wingman to attack the primary group, and he'll know what to do with that. He'll be attacking the right group. I think there's also another AI flight that'll be attacking the right group as well, so you'll have some assistance. You do have some anti-air threat to worry about here. You got a Roland up here, and that's well within range. He'll be shooting at you as soon as you come over these trees. So you're going to probably want to stay low if he's shooting at you and just drive his missiles into the ground and the trees. And you may just have to keep circling until you drain him. or hopefully he'll be shooting at somebody else and it won't be your concern. Also, you've got a Gepard over here. That's a pretty big threat. Not so much as you're lining up and taking shots at these targets, but if you were to do the stupid thing and turn right after your attack run, you'd be flying right over this roll and then right around this Gepard, and that would be a pretty big risk. So after each of your attack runs, just turn left and head back southwest, and then come back in for each subsequent run. That'll keep you pretty safe from the Gepard, and then it'll give you some room to maneuver and some trees to play with if the roll-in is shooting at you. So in summary, you're coming out to waypoint 2, waiting for instructions, destroying one of these two groups depending what the instructions are, and then heading home. You don't actually have to destroy anything for the mission success result that'll help you advance the campaign. The mission success criteria are just that you fly out to this area and then land back at Sochi safely without dying, and that'll get you 100%. All right, good luck. All right, start the mission. We'll close the canopy, get the electrical on, engines on, flaps down. Tell ATC we're starting up.
Сочи, 33-й, запуск.
3-3, Сочи, запуск разрешаю. Ветер у земли 3-3-8, скорость 3 метров в секунду.
Обнаружена цель. 3-5-9, удаление 190 на 3500. Сближайтесь. 33-й, 13-й. Обнаружена цель. 3-5-9, удаление 190.
All right, engines are ready. We'll request taxi to see which runway we get.
Сочи, 33-й, руление.
3-3, Сочи, разрешаю руление на полосу 2-4.
All right, runway 24. It's left to right from this perspective, so we'll taxi out to the left. I'll turn that RWR down a few notches.
Работаю по воздушной цели. От ориентира 2-4-3. Удаление 140 на 800. 26. Работаю по воздушной цели. От ориентира 2-4-3. Удаление 140 на 800. 33-й, 13-й. Обнаружена цель. 3-4-1. Удаление 190 на 3500. Сближаюсь. Второй. Пошел.
Alright, there's 2-4.
Удаление 190. На 3500. Сближайтесь.
We're slightly early, about a minute, but we'll just line up and take off anyway. Manage our speed once we're in the air.
3-3. Взлет запрещаю. 3-3. Сочи. Взлет по готовности. Отход по схеме на 300. По давлению 757,37.
Get the nav system on, point it at waypoint 1. Got a long, boring flight ahead, so I'll put timestamps in the video description to help you out if you want to skip this. And this leg calls for 2,000 meters altitude and 600 kph ground speed. I'm going to fly higher than that to save fuel because I'm a little concerned about having to have this long flight there and back, also some loiter time while we're there. So I'll fly a little higher to save some fuel.
Обнаружена цель 002. Удаление 240 на 6000. Сближайтесь. Работаю по воздушной цели. От ориентира 2-3-13. Обнаружена цель 3-4-5. Удаление 160 на 5000. Сближайтесь. 33-13. Обнаружена цель 3-4-8. Удаление 150 на 3500. Сближайтесь. Облучение Земли 12 часов. Работаю по воздушной цели. От ориентира 2-1-9. Удаление 90 на 6000.
Alright, we're up above 5,000 meters. That should be enough to conserve fuel, so we'll level out,
Облучение Земли
speed up a little bit.
12 часов.
We're a little bit behind schedule at this point. Got about 7 minutes to waypoint 1, and we're about 80 kilometers to go, so we'll run about 650 or so, somewhere between 650 and 700. Ground speed should catch us up.
Обнаружена цель. 353. Удаление 90. На 4000. Сближайтесь. Второй. Обучение 12 часов. На 9000. Второй. Обучение 1 час.
Alright, looks like we'll be roughly on time now that we picked up the pace a little bit. Alright, got some fighters locking me out ahead. Hopefully some friendlies will deal with that.
Второй. Обучение 1 час.
All right, we got a couple minutes to waypoint 1. Once we hit that, I'll dive pretty aggressively to get down to the 300 meters AGL that the flight plan calls for. But we'll try to keep our speed up because we need to be at waypoint 2 in about 5 minutes. Alright, there's the switch to waypoint 2. So it's still basically straight ahead, so we'll just invert, drop some altitude. As we pop through these clouds, we'll keep an eye on the radar altimeter, make sure we're not going to run into the ground. Alright, I'm not really worried about getting down to 300 AGL. I think if we stay just below the clouds, it should be okay. So I'll keep the speed about where it's at. We got about 2.5 minutes to get to waypoint 2 and 27.5 kilometers to go, so that'll be about right. And I'll try to keep the throttle down as much as I can, just so that we save some fuel. Don't want to be loitering at full throttle, burning all that gas.
to 1, this is Division Command. Hold your station and stand by for target assignment.
Alrighty, so it's hold, so I'll just go in an orbit right here, a little bit south of waypoint 2 still, but pretty close. I'm not really sure how long to wait here, so we'll just continue on to waypoint 2 and then 3, see if that kicks something.
Второй. Облучение Земли. 10 часов.
We're already pointed at waypoint 3, we'll go back to waypoint 2. Alright, it's switched to waypoint 3, so we'll turn towards there.
Tractor 1, Division Command.
Okay, we're getting the
At
target
work
now.
for you. Your target is as follows. Waypoint 3 at 38 degrees, 20 kilometers. Artillery battery in fire position. No target marking. No friendlies close. I repeat. Waypoint 3 at 38 degrees, 20 kilometers. Artillery battery in fire position. No target marking. No friendlies close.
Alright, so waypoint 3, 38 degrees, 20 kilometers. When they say waypoint 3, they mean waypoint 2 according to our nav system, because they're starting at 1 when ours starts at 0. So I've got waypoint 2 loaded up. We'll get the needle pointed at 38 degrees. We need to come back the other way a little bit. And then we'll fly through waypoint 2 and continue on for 20 kilometers. We're pretty far off from what I was trying to do there, but we'll just fly to waypoint 2 and then we'll snap it over to 38 degrees on the HSI. We'll climb a little bit more just to give ourselves the best visibility we can get. So like I said, once we get to waypoint 2, we'll snap it over to 38 degrees and we'll start looking for a target. But it's going to be out here somewhere. Nothing's popping out at me yet, but we'll find it soon. Alright, we're less than a kilometer, so I'll pull through to 38 degrees. It's going to be right about there. And we're looking out 20 kilometers. Not seeing anything yet. I see some units out there, so that's probably it. Go to air to ground mode. Get that glass down a little bit. Start with the longer range missiles. Should be there. It's cage 25 mLs. Get that laser on. Point it at something. Yeah, it's definitely artillery. And we're just waiting for range. We got some sort of radar. We got fighters out ahead of us. Hopefully that's not an issue. Something else off to the right a little bit more and off to the left. So just landmarking it. We got this long village there, pointing kind of directly at these targets. Still just waiting for range. There it is. Something's locking us, so I'll get low. Alright. I think an M109 is an artillery piece, if I remember right. And I'll tell the wingman to attack. We'll see if I get him attack primary, if that works. Yeah, he acknowledged that, so hopefully he attacks the right stuff. Alright, there's that group. Come back around. That laser on again. That looks pretty good. Just waiting for range. There it is. We'll switch to the inboard missiles. Have to get a little bit closer for these, but that's alright. Not sure what happened to that missile, so we'll fire one of these. Oops, didn't have the laser up anymore. I think I turned the laser off inadvertently. Alright, turning left to avoid SAMs and AAA. Alright, wingman's definitely working on the right group, so that's good to see. Get rid of this other missile before we do the rockets. Got the laser on, get it on one of these guys. That's good, waiting for range. There it is. And we'll go rockets. Oh, that killed the laser. I see what's going on. I'm switching too So So yeah, when I switched weapons, it turned the laser off. I didn't anticipate it doing that. I don't want to get hit by those guys, so I'll just get away. Took a couple little hits. I hear maybe one of the flight control surfaces got affected, but hopefully there's no hydraulic leak or anything. Engines are okay. So I'll climb a little bit so I can get a better angle on the rocket run. Alright, I'll try to take out these two artillery units here. That hit nothing. So we've got a couple bombs left. I'll get some altitude so we can use those. Alright, laser on, rolling in on these guys. It's going to be pretty quick. And just waiting for range. It's going to be pretty late in the game here. Pickle. It was close, but didn't get a hit. Looks like the wingman's doing all the good work, so I'll just let him wrap up and get rid of this last missile, and then we'll head home. Or last bomb. Alright, something's locking these. Yeah, it was locking for a second there. I'll get this done quick. Just waiting for range. There it is. Pickle. Alright, got him. Alright, I'll just head home at this point. So we'll get laser off, nav system set to return mode. There it is. And gotta go that way. Alright, we gotta get turned around. Alright, fuel seems to be going quick. Alright, I think those guys killed the last of those units there. Yeah, good stuff. I'll tell the wingman to go home. So fuel's going quick, so I'm going to climb as high as I can. I don't know if there's a leak or if it's just because we're down low. But I'll get up high and we'll try to go fast to get home. I'm going to jettison everything because I'm concerned about a leak. Just go as fast as we can. And if we need to, hopefully we can get close enough that even if there's a leak and we run out of fuel, that we can just coast in. But it's draining pretty fast. So anyway, I think I was stumbling all over myself talking about those weapons, but what happened was I had changed from one weapon type to another while a missile was in the air. When I did that, it turned the laser off. So I lost a couple missiles by doing that. That's why they kind of just went stupid and we didn't see them blow up on target. So when I do this in the future, I'll make sure not to change weapons while I've got the laser active. Just keeping an eye on that fuel. Given how fast it's running out, I think we do have a leak. So I'm going to accept all the shakiness we're going to get once we get up to high altitude. Just go as fast as I possibly can. And maybe we'll get there with gas, maybe we'll have to coast in, maybe we'll make it at all. Don't really know yet. Alright, we're up above 10,000 meters, so I'll start to level out. We'll get going, get a ground speed up as high as we can. Alright, getting shaky, but we'll just have to live with it. I can definitely hear something's got a hole in it, or there's a panel or something missing. I hear the wind rustling every now and then. I think maybe it's a little shakier than it would normally be because of that. I can't see what's wrong from here. We got a ground speed in excess of 800, so it isn't going to take us too long to get back. I'm not so sure I've got a leak, but I'm going to keep acting as if I do. Just do this kind of quick and dirty. We're pretty high, so at about 60 kilometers here in just 30 seconds or so, I'm going to start dropping down. Back off the throttle a bit, but I don't want to go full idle. Yeah, I think Sochi's going to be behind that cloud there. Alright, control's getting a little wonky. We're not even going that fast, so I'm going to bring the throttle back all the way to idle like I didn't want to do, because something's wrong with the flight control. I don't think I've lost hydraulics. I got plenty of roll still, but the pitch is acting pretty weird. Yeah, there's the airfield there. I'm going to switch out of return mode straight to landing mode. Not going to bother flying out to that point way over the water. We'll just kind of cut it close and swoop in and land as soon as we can. If I have to do some hard turns at the end to bleed some speed, I'll do that. Pretty comfortable with where the fuel's at now. We still got about 500 kilograms and we're only 25 kilometers away, so that should be plenty, even if we've got a leak. Alright, feeling good enough to go throttle, idle, and throw the speed brake out, slow down. I don't know if that's going to be sufficient because we're still high and fast, but it'll help a little bit. Alright, I'll call in our inbound.
Сочи, 33-й, возврат.
3-3.
I'll
Сочи.
throw the maneuver flaps out.
Курсом 2-1-8.
Help slow down a little bit more.
Давление 7-5-7,3.
And I'll overshoot a little bit and I'll crank a hard turn towards the runway.
Снимайте высоту круга.
Help slow down even more.
3-3. Работайте с посадкой.
Alright, that's good. Alright, I got us down to 400, so I'll throw the gear and the flaps out. Landing flaps, that is. Keep the brake out for now. We're not too high, so we might be able to slow down to a reasonable speed here. Yeah, we're in good shape now. Got enough fuel to help out. I'm going to turn the air brake off. Add a little throttle in. And we'll start trimming it. I didn't think I was going to have time to trim, but we got time to do some of it.
Посадку запрещаю. Уходите на второй круг. 3-3. Сочи. Проверьте выпуск шасси. Ветер у земли 3-3. Посадку запрещаю. Уходите на второй круг. 3-3. Сочи. Проверьте выпуск шасси. Ветер у земли 3-3. Посадку запрещаю. Уходите на второй круг. 3-3. Сочи. Проверьте выпуск шасси. Ветер у земли 3-3. Посадку запрещаю. Уходите на второй круг. 3-3. Сочи. Проверьте выпуск шасси. Ветер у земли.
Air handling's still a little wonky.
Посадку запрещаю. Уходите на второй круг. 3-3. Сочи. Проверьте выпуск шасси. Ветер у земли 3-3. Посадку запрещаю. Уходите на второй круг.
And we're down safe.
3-3. Работайте с посадкой. 3-3. Сочи. Проверьте выпуск шасси. Ветер у земли 3-3-8. Скорость 3 метров в секунду.
I don't think I have a drag chute. Tried to pop that out, but it didn't slow me down, so just using brakes. And we'll pull off here and take a look at what's wrong with the jet.
3-3. Заруливайте на стоянку.
Yeah, a little bashed up. I guess that's why there's no drag chute there. And that's all I see. Not too bad. All right, that'll do it.